Good morning, Hazian. Good morning, everyone. So it is 9 o'clock. We're going to get started. So Jaylene is going to be my person that's putting in this Google Doc for people. So Jaylene, if you just want to copy it so that you can paste it into the chat when new people enter. Every person, so there are 25 people in this chat right now, every person needs to have this document open. I see we've got about 15 students in the document right now. So please make sure, okay, that's all right, I'll do it. So totally okay, Jaylene. So we're gonna get started. So today we are tracking Eliza's character from Act 1 to Act 2 and from Act 2 to Act 3. So the first thing that we need, and I'm going to ask for your help on this is how you're going to get active participation for today, is brainstorm character traits describing Eliza from Act 1 specifically. So let's brainstorm. Who was Eliza? What type of person was Eliza in Act 1? Brainstorm as many character traits, and then we can pull some of the strongest ones and put them into our tracker. Carter's got defensive, strong academic language. Joseph, same wavelength. There you go. What else we got? How else do we describe Eliza from Act 1 specifically? Thank you, Brianna. I appreciate you. So check in question, or task more accurately. Brainstorm character traits describing Eliza from Act 1 specifically. So right now, all we have is defensive. So I'm going to add defensive in here. Complex, Abdul. All right, which other ones? We need more. We need more. Come on. We've done this before, so we should already have some brainstormed ready to go. Ooh, we are sleepy today. There are 28 people in this chat. There are 3 people actively participating right now. Okay, she gets startled, anxious. Okay, Desiree, keep brainstorming. If you need help with a word, put the idea in and we can find a word. Okay, mad. Remember, we're thinking specifically about Act 1. Abdul, the reason why I would push against complex and ambitious is because that describes her in a different act more effectively than in Act 1 specifically. So Desiree, when you're talking about she jumps to conclusions, we could write judgmental there. Does judgmental work for what you were thinking, Desiree? Okay, cool. So we'll put judgmental in. What else? Impatient. I totally see that, Brianna. Yeah, impatient. We need 2 more from Act 1. 2 more character traits. Joseph, I don't agree with you. In Act 1, she's very afraid, right? She's really scared that she's going to get in trouble by the police. So what else? Oh, Jay, great one. I didn't see that up there. Anxious. Yes, she is very anxious in Act 1. Oh, afraid. That totally works. Innocent. I like that, Jalissa. Innocent will be our last one. Innocent. Okay, great. So now we're going to move into the same thing for character traits for Act 2. So the task is brainstorm character traits for Act 2 specifically. Remember, in order to earn active attendance, we need to be brainstorming in the chat. So there are 36 people in the chat right now. I'm going to also put our link in for today again. If you have just joined in and you don't know what we're working on right now, click into this document. And then we're brainstorming character traits for Eliza from Act 2 specifically. Stubborn, Anna, I see you, good. Lewis, hardworking, all right. Lewis, can you type hardworking into Google and see if you can find a stronger word for that? Ambitious, confident. Jay, I don't know that I agree with you in confident, right? Because she's going and she's asking someone to change her in some ways, right? There are aspects to her being confident, but also aspects where she's not. So Jay, I'm in the middle on that one. So I like stubborn from Anna, stubborn. She's definitely comes off as stubborn in Act 2. I agree with that. What else do we have? Ambitious, yes, right? She wants to be a fancy flower shop girl. That's very ambitious. Ambitious, what else? We've done this assignment. Influenced, diligent. Ooh, Jaylene, diligent's a really strong word. Jay, can you write in what do you mean by influenced? I don't know if that's the correct word, but I want to understand what you're thinking of. Ooh, determined. Jaden, yeah, determined. Asias, confused totally works because she's really confused about this bet, right? Oh, Ethan, totally okay. Here's the question. Oh, that's not the question. That's what you need to be clicking into. Right now we're looking for character traits in Act 2. Brianna, self-control fits more with Act 3, so I'm gonna stick that in for Act 3. She learns to be very self-controlled. Ooh, industrious. Yes. Lewis, that's a really strong word. Industrious is gonna wrap up Act 2. Really awesome. So now what we're focusing on is Act 3. Conscientious is also a really strong word, Jalissa. We don't have space for it, but I do want to recognize that as a strong word. So now we're brainstorm character traits in Act 3 for Eliza. Honest, confident, yes. Honest works there too, Brianna, good. Honest, confident, yes. Confident. Byron, I feel weird about confidence. I think she gives off confidence, but we see her put on a show, and that's why I don't really feel, I don't know if that fits her. Abdul, what makes you think snitch? Truthful, that works. Or honest, which we've already got. Honest / truthful. That's what I was thinking, Abdul. So I don't like the word snitch. Can you find a stronger academic word? So let's think, can we brainstorm a word that describes the fact that she is super detail oriented and she's so I have a word. That's totally okay, Josh. Click into this link and we're filling out this character tracker. So one word that I want to use is composed. The reason why I want to use explicit totally works, Jalissa. I will add explicit in there because I think that's really good. So composed is sort of similar to relaxed, Ethan. So composed is like being put together or like seeming very confident and relaxed. The reason why I like the word composed is because it's this mix of feeling confident and feeling relaxed, but it also recognizes that it's just the outside. You can appear composed without actually being put together on the inside. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So we need one more character trait for Act 3. One more character trait. So for Act 3, we have self-controlled, honest and truthful, composed, explicit, hopeful and smart. They're on the right track. They're not quite strong enough words for me to include in our list. Express, that's not a character trait, Carter. Keep pushing. I appreciate all of these try words, right? This is how we get better, is by making mistakes and getting feedback. Intelligent, confident, straightforward. We've sort of got that in the honest, truthful. That's very similar, but good thinking, Jalissa. So I want to add another word in here. It's poised. So the word poised, so some of these are that you're coming up with is really good. Expressive totally works, Celise. Cooperative, I don't really know. Adaptable, ooh, Asias. I'm going to erase poised and write in adaptable because I think that's even stronger. Nice job, Asias. Adaptable. So adaptable means to like be able to change based on the circumstance, which is totally what Act 3 is about. So we're going to pause in the chat for just a minute. Because we're tight on time, we've only got like 15 minutes left. Instead of quoting evidence, which you can do, so if you notice in my document, are you able to click into the different links for Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3? Can you click into those on the document? Here, I'll put the document in here one more time for those of you who aren't in there. Okay, great. So what I want to do is I want to have each student, so here are my directions. Each student choose one of the acts to find a piece of evidence supporting one character trait. So for example, if I was like, ooh, I really want to find where Eliza is adaptable in Act 3, I would click into Act 3 and I'm only looking for evidence that proves that she's adaptable. If you understand the directions, please write in which act are you going to explore and search for evidence. If you understand the directions, choose which act and write it in the chat. You will search. Okay, Abdul, so you're gonna click into Act 1, Act 2, or Act 3, and you're gonna look for evidence of a character trait. So for example, if I choose to look in Act 2, I have to decide which character trait do I want to look into. So if I want to find where she's ambitious in Act 2, I'm finding one piece of evidence to support her being ambitious in Act 2. Does that make more sense? Wonderful. Okay, so I see several people have put in their acts. So I'm going to put, let's say I want 3 minutes on the clock. So when the clock says 9:18, your evidence needs to be in the chat. So I'm going to do this too. So I'm going to choose Act 3, and I'm gonna find when she's composed. This is my task. And I found my piece of evidence and I just put it right into the chat. So as soon as you find your evidence, you can put it right into the chat. Hey, Anna, what act and what trait is that quote for? So, Leia, I'm about to put in a document for you. You're gonna just observe because we've only got 1 minute left for this task, but just pay attention. Act 2 and stubborn. Wonderful, Anna, thank you. So I see a couple other people have put them in. Abdul, same D. So your trait is ambitious, which is also from Act 2. Wonderful, Abdul, I see you. Desiree, I see yours too. Give me a second. Great. Confused. Ooh, Desiree, very good. Using Mrs. Pierce to show that Eliza is confused is a really, really strong move. Wonderful. It's 9:18, so I see a lot of people have already put their stuff in. It's going to take me a little bit. Celise, what is your quote pertaining to? Which act and what word? I think it's Act 2, but I just don't know what word you're trying to describe. Oh, Act 2, expressive. Thank you. Expressive. Paste. Oops. Okay, what else? So I see Act 2, stubborn. Lots of Act 2s. Okay, did anyone do Act 3 or Act 1? I'm gonna have to format this later. Determined. Good, Byron, this is strong. So we feel much more confident with Act 2. That feels very clear. Oh, Brianna, it's in the document that I shared. You can click on where it says Act 1 in blue, and the link is right there, baby. Christine, oh, you did Act 1? Perfect. That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure. No problem, Brianna. Just let me know when you got your evidence. Lewis, what is your evidence for? Good, Leia. There you go. We can pick up on it late. So let's go through. We've got 10 minutes left. I'm going to go through and we're going to do some of Act 3 together because a lot of people didn't choose Act 3. So click into Act 3 if you can and say ready in the chat when you've clicked into Act 3. Click into Act 3 and then write ready in the chat. Wonderful. Asias, Alyssa, Abdul, Desiree, Ethan, way to be on top of it. Great. Okay, awesome. I'm seeing more and more. Thank you for getting there and getting there quickly. So we're gonna find a, can someone find the evidence for explicit? Jalissa, can you try to find the evidence for explicit? Because that was your word and I think it's a really good word. Awesome. Yes, Brianna, really strong piece of evidence that you selected for Act 1. Good, really strong. Nate, which act and which word are you finding evidence for right there? So while Jalissa is finding explicit, let's go through and let's talk about what does it mean to be self-controlled, right? To be self-controlled is like everything is all together and you're very aware of the decisions you're making, right? So if we're going in Act 3 and we're trying to find where she's self-controlled, we're looking for some stage directions or for some things that look a little bit awkward. So, and I'm thinking of something very specific here. Ah, perfect. Okay. So here, I'm going to put my piece of evidence for self-controlled in the tracker. Self-controlled. Oh, yeah, Alyssa, put in your evidence too. And let's see if we chose the same one. Oh, Nate, I got you. I understand now. Yes. Alyssa, that also works for self-controlled. I'll add that in here. Very strong. Good. Okay. And so let's find one more from Act 1 now, because we've only got 7 minutes left. Jalissa, just put in the chat when you find something for explicit. Here's a hint. It's towards the end of where Eliza is in Act 3. It's by the right before she leaves is when she starts sounding more explicit. So for Act 1, so now I need you to click into Act 1 the same way that you clicked into Act 3. And let's try to find what makes her innocent. Someone find me a quote for innocent in Act 1. Someone, whoever just yawned, you're accidentally not on mute. You might want to mute yourself. Although I totally understand. The Act 1 text. Abdul, it's right in the document. You can click into it just like you could for Act 3. Yeah, Brianna, you can totally find it. You're finding where she is innocent, right? That's what I said, innocent. Let me know when you've got it, Brianna, and I'll add it in here. So while Brianna finds a piece of evidence for innocent, I want you to just take the opportunity to look at how much evidence we found for all of the different character traits that Eliza has. And if we look, there are so many character traits that describe her, right? There are so many different ways to understand this character. And that's really important. It's really important because it shows that we have a complex character in this text. So a complex character, there we go, is a character that is complicated, which means has lots of things, feelings, thoughts going on, and a character that changes throughout the text. So for your sign off, because we have 4 minutes left, so Jalissa, sorry, I was not scrolled all the way down. So Jalissa, your quote totally works. I'll add it in just a minute. When she's talking about her dead aunt, totally works. Okay. And Brianna, I see yours. Exactly. So I want to focus on complex characters. So the exit ticket. So this is your last opportunity to get active participation for today. Your exit ticket is how, in one sentence, how has Eliza changed from Act 1 to Act 3? How has Eliza changed? So what is the change, or how has the change happened? She used to be this and now she's this. She used to do this and now she does this. How has she changed? Justin, she doesn't become more explicit. That's actually something that stays, right? We don't see it. We see it in Act 2 and we see it in Act 3. And so that isn't something that's changed. She's improved the way she speaks and she's less defensive, yes, right? There's a sense of comfortability. We've known this character for 3 acts now. She's grown up by the way she talks, right? So her talking has changed, yep. She's still poor and unmannered, but then she's changing to well-mannered. Abdul, there's a portion of the text where Higgins talks about the fact that manners are harder to teach than how she talks, right? She's not as shy now that she knows how to speak correctly, definitely. And definitely with this crowd. Yep, Shailen. She's more open. Mm-hmm. She changes from not proper to proper. There you go, Lewis. She was loud and impatient, and then she becomes a lady and self-controlled. Yes, Brianna, you have been killing it today. Keep up the good work. Eliza now understands, yep, improved speaking and become a little bit more comfortable. Exactly, Passion, good. Eliza changed throughout the story. By the way she carries herself, yes. And Layla, really good phrase. The way she carries herself totally does change, right? You can see it in her posture. You can see it in the way she talks. Not as stubborn and defensive. Good. Yes, Justin, so much stronger. All right, it's 9:29. It's time for you to get out of here. So go on, go to social studies, and make sure you get your mid-unit assessment done today.
Yeah, get it done today.
So both parts, make sure that you have both parts done. Part 2 is today's assignment. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.